dementia, connecting our lives to help us survive. So we spend our time to the fullest we can. We're seeing our lives have purpose, engaging our days to find better ways and build this life to the fullest.
Hi, welcome to Professional Insights, created by Dementia Action Alliance. I'm proud to be your host, Laurie Scher. During our Professional Insight podcast, we have educational conversations with professionals in the dementia community to provide answers and support to people living with dementia and their care partners. My guest today is Michelle Daniel. Together, we will be exploring the essentials of well-being. Michelle is the president and CEO of Eden Alternative. As a longtime advocate for culture change and the Eden Alternative, Michelle has shared her experience in the culture change and person-directed care at many events, and it is such an honor to have you with us today, Michelle.
Thanks so much, Laura. Glad to be here.
Well, Michelle, I have questions for you, so let's just delve into them here.
Sure.
First off, what is Eden Alternative?
Yeah, thank you. Well, the Eden Alternative has been around for 30 years. This is our 30th anniversary, and we are a nonprofit organization. We provide an approach to care that supports the whole person, that upholds their right to a life full of purpose, connection, empowerment, and possibility, regardless of age or changing abilities. We offer training to elders, team, family members, care partners of all kinds, and we have organizational membership and individual membership.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. You just said a word that I see on your website a lot. I often hear Eden Alternative training talking about elder care. Well, I don't consider myself old. What is elder care?
Yeah, so I've been an Eden educator since 2008, and I heard the definition of an elder when I went through Eden Associate class. And I had always known elder as a church word, right? Somebody who's revered in our church, right?
That's right.
So the definition of an elder by Barry and Deborah Barkin, the founders of the Life Oak Project, they say that an elder is a person who is still growing, still a learner, still with potential, and whose life continues to have within it a promise for a future, promise for and connection to the future. An elder is still in pursuit of happiness, joy, and pleasure, and her or his birthright to these remain intact. Moreover, an elder is a person who deserves respect and honor, and whose work it is to synthesize wisdom from long life of experience and formulate this into a legacy of future generations. And I'll share with you that Dr. Bill Thomas and his wife Jude, the founders of the Eden Alternative, had two daughters who were considered elders, and they lived with different abilities, and they taught all of us, Haley and Hannah taught all of us that you can be any age and be an elder. So do we have to use the word elder? Absolutely not. Is it a word that we prefer? If we're showing respect, absolutely, right? So elderly is not really a word that we use because it's not revering, but elder is a word of reverence and respect. But if somebody says, I want to be called Bob, then we call them Bob, right? If I want to be called a resident, or if I want to be called a citizen of this community, then you're a citizen of that community. Jill Vitale Awesome with Christian Living Centers, or Christian Living Community, she talks about citizenship within her communities. And so it's a word that should provide for empowerment, and a person should feel that they're being respected with that word, right? But you can be any age and be an elder as long as you're teaching with your life experiences.
Wow, now I really like that word. I like that definition. I'm proud to be an elder now. I like it. Okay, so in fact, I'm thinking, where can I post that? I need to post that somewhere.
I'll send you a copy.
Oh, thank you. I'd appreciate that. Um, I I know some of the Eden training, um, and I've had the opportunity to go through Eden training and then didn't go, but someday I'm going to get there. But what are the seven domains of well-being, and what's their impact?
Right. The domains of well-being, and I will tell you, I have used these as a problem-solving tool for a long time now, and I'm so thankful for them. I didn't always have these. But briefly, uh, the seven domains of well-being are identity, and identity is being well known, having personhood, individuality, wholeness, and having a history. So all of us are individuals, and what is our identity? And I've found that different phases in my life, my identity is different. So
Mm-hmm.
for some people, I'm Joseph's mom. For some people, I'm Mackenzie's mom. For some people, I'm a dog mom, right? Or the lady with the chickens, right? So our identity could be any number of things, or maybe somebody's spouse or somebody's whatever, right? But it's what is our identity? A lot of times when people retire, it's hard to figure out what our identity is. So, as a team member, as a care partner, it's helping that person find what their identity is now. As life changes and things change, what's our identity? Because our identity is not any more or less at any stage in our life, but it's very important that we know our identity. And the second one is connectedness, belonging, engaged, involved, connected to the past, present, and future, connected to place, connected to nature. And all those things are so important. And many times, the assumption is that older adults only care about the past. But are we dreaming about the future? Are we growing? Do we have goals that we want to reach? Because care partners need to know what our goals are. So, what are we connected to? And then being connected to nature, I think, is particularly cool. I walk the beach every day, and it just seems so, it makes my problems seem so small to see the ocean, right? Every day so big. So I think all of us have certain connectedness, right? And then security. And this is a big one for people living with dementia because I think we misunderstand what security really means. Security in the seven domains of well-being is freedom from doubt, anxiety, fear, safe, certain, assured, having privacy, dignity, and respect. Dr. Thomas talks about surplus safety. And, if we really think about it, we should all be wrapped in bubble wrap just in case, right? What if, what if, what if, what if? And we what if
Right?
ourselves to death and we lock this door and we keep these people safe and we this and that. And ultimately, when somebody feels locked in or compartmentalized, we do not feel safe after all. And it's with good intention that we try to provide safety, but I think we forget about the security of well-being. And those words just mean so much to me, specifically the doubt and anxiety and fear. I think we're in the business of reassurance in elder care, and we should genuinely care about reassuring anyone in any crisis they're in, any moment of anxiety or fear, to reassure and be there for them. And then there's autonomy, and that's a fancy word for choice. So it's liberty, self-governance, self-determination, choice, and freedom, right? I love that word because so many times a person living with dementia is put over here and we're making decisions because we're the experts. And in reality, everyone should be at the table, including the person. And I'm not saying person-centered care, I'm saying person-directed living. That person is living their life. They are driving the bus and we're the pit crew, right? We should be the ones who are supporting that person living their best life. And so autonomy is a biggie for me. Meaning, significance, heart, hope, import, value, purpose, reflection, and sacred. And meaning is different for all of us. If we were to buy a picture frame at the grocery store or at, Walgreens, right? There's a picture of strangers. They don't mean anything to us. But when we put the picture of our loved ones, our friends, our family in there, that's when there's meaning. It's not the picture frame. It's the people in the picture, right? Growth, development, enrichment, unfolding, expanding, evolving. We should all grow. My mom's an educator, and she would say we should all be growing to the day we die, right? And I believe that. I believe we should be growing always. And then there's joy. This is the fun one, right? Happiness, pleasure, delight, contentment, enjoyment. And I love joy. So, with the Eden alternative, I talk about a lot of times in elder care, we label people sadly. We do. And it's never a happy label. So, a lot of times it's the problem, right? The problem behavior. Somebody's behaving differently, right? So, we label the behavior. And the Eden alternative, we believe that a behavior is really an expression of an unmet need. And medically, we utilize root cause analysis. Well, for some reason, behaviorally, we don't. Emotionally, we don't, and we should. So a lot of times it's the behavior and then the behavior problem, and then suddenly the person's the problem, and then that person needs to go out to evaluate, right? And I think that if we see a different type of behavior, that's the person responding to an unmet need. So if we look at their identity and their connectedness, security, autonomy, meaning, growth, and joy, if we see those things, if one of those is missing, that person is not in a state of well-being. And as a care partner, if we utilize this tool, then we can realize what the triggers are. So instead of a behavior, I would say it's a response. So if a person, flails, well, maybe we came from behind, or maybe we rushed up on somebody and they're surprised. Well, it's not that they were aggressive with me, it's that I was not paying attention to their readiness. I didn't introduce myself properly. And I think a lot of times we label responses as a problem, and that's not really fair. So I utilize the domains of well-being as that root cause analysis for emotional well-being.
Well, and I think that could actually apply in our lives in many ways if we put that in. If we start applying that, I think it fits in a number of ways. And I know we're running short on time, but one more question, please. And that is, I think for me, if I was looking for a care unit, whatever kind, memory care, long-term residence, whatever, why should I consider specifically looking for a unit that has gone through Eden alternative training? What's the value to me as a person living with dementia?
Sure. Well, we say that in our definition, and it's all caps. We see the whole person, right? We're also trained to see things with what we call Eden eyes. So we look for things like loneliness, helplessness, and boredom, and we call those the 3 plagues of humanity, right? There's no medicine for loneliness. There's no medicine for helplessness. There's no medicine for boredom, but we do have those antidotes, and that's part of the 10 principles of the Eden alternative, right? So we talk about companionship is the antidote to loneliness, and giving and receiving care. That person wants a purpose in life. They don't want to be taken care of. They want to be part of. They want to be doing life with, right? And then boredom, spontaneity, and variety. And so the entire environment changes when employees of any care community see that whole person, not just what they have to take care of. That's not the way to see it, but we're meeting people where they are and honoring them and on the journey with them and honoring them. You will see that you'll walk into an Eden alternative community and it's a warm, inviting feeling versus a cold, sterile hospital feel, right? And so the idea is that we are real home, not home-like.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And Michelle, I want to thank you so much for joining us today to share information about the essentials of well-being, and so we could learn more about Eden. And I look forward to seeing you at a conference very soon. So thank you for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lori, for having me. It's been a joy.
And Dementia Action Alliance is committed to enhancing lives, connecting people, and increasing understanding. I'd really like to thank you, our audience, for joining DAA for our Professional Insights podcast. More podcasts and valuable resources are available at daanow.org. You can help continue these podcasts and many of our other programs that enhance the lives of the dementia community with a donation at daanow.org/donate. Thank you and have a great day.
We can, so we live our life to the fullest. We can.